June meeting to order. First up on the agenda is the Cicchetti Slaughterhouse public hearing. Can I have a well, let's see if how many people are looking to speak on this application this evening? Okay. So like two, all right, three. Okay. We probably don't need we don't need a sign up sheet. All right, so can I have a motion to open the public hearing?
I'll make that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? All right, we'll open the public hearing. If the applicant can come here and just give a little presentation about where we're at.
Did after the last meeting, made all the adjustments and that looking forward.
Do we have?
Sure. Good. Good. This stuff right.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Ready?
I'm unfurling.
Oh, wait.
Impressive. It's a very impressive. I thought they went another direction with that. This is the letter we got to read. This is Sugar Hill.
Just.
George, are you looking at these? Did you see these digitally already? Is this what you wrote your letter? When they were last updated? Okay. Did everyone read George's memo? All right. Well, if you want to give just a summary of the project and where you can have Tricia put up whatever you want up there.
People this all out. Well, on Sugar Hill Farm about they thought that community also benefits you for the community to come and get their animals processed. And so yeah, 333 acres, some back from 199. And we're looking to put an entrance at 199 to the slaughterhouse, approximately 500 feet off the road, which is surrounded by wood. Should not be visible from the road, and all the animals will be processed within the facility. The animals stored outside. All the access for the building and behind the building, so we're kind of concealing that from any visibility. So this is a project that we're looking to get started with. We'll get started.
Okay.
So,
Yes, I had no share.
Is there a particular page you want up there?
sorry. Nobody thanks. Plans.
Yes, if anyone is looking at any of our applications, we have on the town website, there's a link on on the town website, you go to the planning board page. There's a link to our public Google Drive where you can look up any of the applications, any of those public materials that have been submitted. All right, so I guess we'll go with the public comments first. All right, so can I raise your hand if you're looking to speak on this, and your name is?
Suzanne Teresi.
And we'll look to be about 3 minutes or so. I'm not gonna get the timer out, but if you could stand up, come over to this, so where Matt was standing. That's the camera section.
Okay. But we live at 3593 Route 199. We're directly across from Sugar Hill Farm. And we're concerned that our easterly view, which is now pastures and woods, we would really prefer not to see a building back in there. So we're concerned about the visibility of the building, because we'll lose our view. And we're concerned about lighting.
So you're in the White House.
The White House, yes.
And we received a letter from you.
Yes, you did. I brought it to, I believe, clerk's name is Madeline.
It was circulated amongst the board.
So those are the concerns that we have. We know there's gonna be increased traffic. I mean. We get that no matter what's going on here, so, but the lighting and the actual visibility of the building are a concern.
Okay,
Too bad.
thank you.
Thank you.
Next up, someone raise your hand. Sir? If you could come to the same spot, please, and state your name.
John Bonneville. I just have a simple question, you have 400 acres. And you're gonna build 300 feet behind.
Just one thing, remember, just cut. Direct the comments to the board and we're not gonna get
That's
a
fine.
dialogue with, okay.
This is unobtrusive, it's not gonna hurt anybody. Why is it next to my house? There's plenty of spots. There's road frontage on Dodge Hill. That's my question. There's even some grass.
That's the house that's,
The bottom.
that one that's right at where the farm road is. Thank you, sir. Next. And. Sir.
Hello, I'm Jeremy Gerber. I live at 479 Prospect Hill Road. I had a couple of questions, I guess, especially first, time like getting more concrete information, which I'm not grateful to have. So a couple of questions that I had were, I'm happy to hear that the slaughterhouse will be open to the public. I'm curious, like, if that also includes other local farms. Specifically Chaseholm Farm where I'm employed. We have to travel incredibly far to get our meat processed. And so the like farmer part of me is excited about there being access to another slaughterhouse that would be close by. As someone that has property close by, I'm also curious about like other concerns that my neighbors have raised, such as like light pollution, sound pollution. I'm curious about like how waste is going to be managed at the facility and how that's going to impact all of those living around it. I think that it's no surprise that like the values of our houses are important, and particularly in this area, that's I think that is worth a lot to us. So I'm interested in the ways that like people's homes and the values of those homes can be protected, as well as like perhaps seeing this as an opportunity for like farms to get a little bit of support and boost around here. The other question I guess I would like to ask is like who's being prioritized to be employed at the slaughterhouse? Is that like something we're extending to like these residents? Like where is that labor going from? Thank you.
Thank you. Sarah? Oh, sorry.
Sarah Jones, I live on Green River Road. I feel that this public hearing is actually a little preliminary or premature, because I don't think that the board has really dug in to the specifics of what this slaughterhouse is and how it will operate and function, and a whole myriad of issues around the slaughterhouse. This is a special use permit. Apparently it comes in under manufacturing. Now, I am totally in favor of building a slaughterhouse in that general area. I want to be very clear about that. I think that a slaughterhouse is very important, in terms of supporting our farms. And, that it's necessary and, that it can be done properly. And we all have had a slaughterhouse right in town that's presented no problems whatsoever, which stands as a model. But a slaughterhouse is a complicated thing. It's a plant, it's a factory, it's manufacturing. Special use permit, you're putting a manufacturing entity in a rural neighborhood. How that gets done is extremely important. And this board with a special use permit has all the authority that you need to investigate and thoroughly look at all of the issues involved. I don't think we even begin to know what the issues are at this point in time. Obviously, the property values of the surrounding residences is a critical factor. And when you put a slaughterhouse 300 feet from somebody's home, that's going to have a major impact on the value of that property. And between the two farms, there's more than 700 acres, I believe. So the placement of that slaughterhouse is a huge issue that needs to be addressed. And, I just raised the issue. Is it going there because the people building it is a nice place that they won't see it? But it will have impact on a number of residential properties. So that really needs to be assessed. We don't know the maximum capacity of this plant if it's fully used. And we need to know that. We need to have a sense of what the number of employees will be, which is good to have jobs. It's excellent. And the waste products that's already been mentioned. Those are issues. Could there be any odor issues? What are the water issues involved in a slaughterhouse? So all of these things need to be carefully studied by this board. And I urge you to go forward and do it. And maybe we should have a further public hearing at a later date. Thank you.
Thank you, Sarah.
I'm Peg Bonneville. I'll better have to. John, everything, I just want to appreciate everything everybody said so far. It's all on my list. Another thing that I'm very concerned about. Well, I do want to stress the fact that, like Sarah and some other people have said, all those acreage, why does it have to be right behind my house? That is my first thing I wanted to stress. But the second thing, with that, one of the big concerns that I have is where the drive is on the plants. We have traffic, and I'm sure everybody here probably knows. We have traffic on 199, semi trucks coming down that hill, and they're not going 40 miles an hour. We have motorcycles. We've had, Jackie, we've had cars come around the corner going off and the fence is down, because of accidents. That's another big concern I have. But obviously the main thing is why 300 feet behind my house, and property values are huge, especially now. So I'm just, I don't know what else to say, but those are very, very important to us.
Thank you. Is there anyone else looking to speak? Board members, do we have questions for the applicant?
There's a lot of things that George brings up in this, really raises issues that need to be discussed and analyzed. And
We want to go over the letter?
okay.
Can we? Yes.
Very useful. George put Ben's letter of them, because I don't think the public has really had the opportunity while the board has. It's a public hearing, it might be nice to get information about it.
Yeah, we're pulling it up. Why was this so hard to read?
I think George is running out of ink.
I don't know why it did that. I could not get it to scan it dark. I was like,
Is that like a Word document that you could highlight and bold?
No, it's not
Oh.
that.
Conspiracy.
All right, so maybe George, can you take
black and white, maybe that. Nothing.
can you take us through?
I certainly can. I guess one of the things I would say is, Matt, you had the letter. Were you able to, address some of these things or formulate some responses? Because it may be beneficial to, hear where they're headed or how they've addressed some of these.
Yeah, I mean, maybe I'll just address them.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, the first one's about a grading plan.
Yep.
Everybody walked the site.
Mhm.
There's, 3 areas that we have noted on the drawings that require rock removal. That's where grading is going to be done, just to level that off. The site's, basically completely level where the building is going to be already. So there's no significant site grading. And we can do on the elevation, we can show where the grade's gonna get shown.
Mhm.
So we can add that to the elevations. The elevations were an add-on to this set of drawings. After the last meeting, I think it was Vicky had asked the buildings elevations, that's the last sheet. There, so they were added. Number 2. We ran this, just under an acre, but in the CAD file, calculate the area out, so we're just under an acre of that sort of. So it doesn't take anything out of this stuff. Yes, we do need DOT in approvals, we know that, we discussed this with the board. We were looking for a site plan approval for the project before we go and make that investment. We would follow the additional sort of plan, but yeah, so where that. Especially for the plan is pretty much done as well, the entrance is pretty much done, as soon as we get approval, we can get ready to file those. A lighting plan, there's a lighting plan in the set drawing. We did go back to the manufacturer after your. Yeah, we're waiting on the response, but we used what we had to spec out. All the lights are dark sky continue. Because that instead of uplighting, it only shines down. So it's concentrated right on the area of the parking lot. The lights are behind the building, so there's only 8 of them. We did change the lights on the building from floodlights, so there's no uplights. So we're gonna use the same lights and just mount them to the building. So they'll all be dark sky compliant, just like all right, so we may adjust those locations. Exactly. Sure. Right now, we did this, so we had 4 coverage, yes, they're overlapping, but we didn't want any dark spots in the parking lot. So, but it is all located. Building elevations, yes, there's doorways, there's one on each side at minimum, that's for emergency egress. So we don't plan on any hardship, it's just gonna walk out. Okay, but that's the address. We added some, we added, and it's a very slow trench on the east side of plans, which we just printed today, so that's no problem. Plantings, they were on there actually already, it's a 8-foot tall spruce tree. So we are doing plantings, there's one gap. Could be visible. Plantings and trees there. Also planting trees all around Bonneville's house to protect it, plus there's also trees there. We put a picture on the new plans, well, just in the electronics, it didn't print out very well. From the actual site towards the road, you can't see 199, you can't see Bonneville's house, that's fine. That's one gap. So, that also the activities are going to be inside, so they will be bought into their tent inside the building. Everything happens inside. It will be all the energy code, which means it's going to be fully insulated and then it's going to give good soundproofing as well. Everything happens in, all the waste is generated inside and it's all diverted, and that's part of the approval we get from the Board of Health. Yeah, the water is diverted to one tank, and we shut it down, we check later, and then to an on-site wastewater. Very consistent of it. See what else is in it. And then the last one, is environmental assessment form, which I don't even know if we sent that. Actually, I gotta send that to you, Tricia, or we updated. Yeah. Okay, I mean, we can respond to a couple of the comments from the public if that's helpful. Like,
You can, sure. We're not gonna get in a dialogue, but you can tell us.
yeah, that's
Right.
not just to put it out there.
Right.
You know, so they have understanding. So this is solar analysis, nothing new to Pine Plains. There's already one in Pine Plains, and I think we can all drive by. I don't even know half that's there. There's, you know, you don't see any animals. There's no impact, no significant odors or anything like that. It's all contained within. This site is over 500 feet off of the road. It's completely concealed with trees around it. We're adding trees in the one gap and also adding trees around the neighbor to keep it hidden. So the idea is when you're driving down 199 or you're sitting on your porch, you're not going to see this building. And it shouldn't have any impact because even as time goes on, the trees are going to fill out.
Excuse me, what about in the winter time?
In the
Are you
wintertime,
planting evergreen?
evergreens, yes. The lighting's all concentrated in the back of the building. That's sort of hidden even more by the building, all dark sky design, trees, it all shines down. Another building's not part of it, like substation of the phone or extension where you can see it from everywhere. That's not gonna be the case. So these lights, they shine down. There'll also be, there's no reason for them to be on at night. So they'll really for more of the winter months where we're operating until say 6 o'clock at night and you see lights in the parking lot. Or in the winter when you're coming in early in the morning and it's still. So should be minimal impact on that. Water, we're going to have to divert all the water that's been used. So that's all going to have to go through Board of Health. That all has to be approved. We do collect it all within the facility and then we do treat it thereafter. The entrance, I mean, the entrance on 199, it's got a lot of traffic already. The solar field that just got approved as an entrance right across the street. So, you know, it's not changed, not any different. This will be.
Well, to be fair, there's gonna be more people coming in your entrance than the solar. Once the solar facility built, you know, it's very minimal traffic.
And it's a daily thing.
Okay, all right, we're not gonna, please.
Question.
Let's Matt finish the meeting. We can come back for some more comments.
Jobs, this is gonna create about 6 jobs for local community. So we do plan on using majority local community. 1 or 2 more specialized people may have to come from elsewhere. This will also, the biggest benefit to the community is it's going to be able to all of them. So we all know there's a major need to this. So we'll be opening our doors that we're going to be depending on that to keep the facility going. It's not just going to be our farm and Sugar Hill Farm. It's going to be the whole community. We're probably looking at processing 5 to 10 animals a day at the facility. And that, in order to meet that demand and meet the business model, that means we will need local. We know that the demand is there for them because, like you had mentioned, you're traveling 2 hours to go to the facility. So that's really huge benefit for the local farm and will alleviate that burden.
Out of those 5 to 10, how many are gonna be your animals? Approximately.
We're probably doing 20 to 30% between us and Sugar Hill Farm of it.
And what made you choose this spot for it? Was there any?
So it's a spot that has concrete slab where we have previously done farming. It's hidden from everything. It's off 199, so the access is easy. We didn't want to bring it off Prospect Hill Road. It's more of a rural road. 199 infrastructure is there for it. It's just kind of a natural place for it to sit. It's already clear. We don't have to cut any more trees. It was just, you know, it makes sense to go right in that location. And like I said, we're not putting it in the field in front or in a field where it's visible. It is concealed.
What does the delivery, what does it look like? Is it semi trucks? Like what brings the animals there and what?
It could be a single trailer coming in, based on a single trailer, it could be, a bigger trailer with a semi, that's possible. But even the steps in that truck. Chevy.
Now you said you have not, have you gone to the DOT at all, or you're waiting
No,
for?
We're drafting the plans. But we're just waiting to file this and then go into structural design as well. We know that it's all going to need approval, as we discussed, we need site plan approval contingent upon those. That's what we're looking at.
Sorry, so can we back up on the memo and then George, maybe go through what you haven't heard from the applicant? As we were going through this and what's in your mind is still outstanding.
Right, so again, say, obviously, he's, addressed the comments as he's just verbalized them. So the grading that I was looking for would have been like proposed contours on the road, if they're any grade gonna change, proposed contours around the building, right? I think there's kind of on the topo map, there's kind of, there's a bunch of contours through the building, there's flag ups. Yeah,
The
so,
light on,
yeah, so that's what I'm saying, that it's
it's flat.
it's flat now, again,
So what about contouring of the drive?
yeah, that's what I'm saying, the driveway and that, if, I understand like the LiDAR may not be exactly what you want. There's something you can do to show that grading, you know what I mean? Somehow, that's what I was looking for, but again, it's a board, whatever you think is, appropriate or, then obviously I'm going, tool engineering, right, the way I would always grade it back. Again, there's a certain amount of this is I don't want to say it doesn't matter, because it does matter, but if this were flanked by buildings on either side in a hamlet area or in a densely populated area, it would be completely non-negotiable. I think Matt would agree. You have to show it, right? You gotta know. We did take a site walk, so again, I don't think the board would, if you thought the grading that they're showing is sufficient, again, for primarily agriculture purpose, then that's fine. But normally we would see, hey, it's got this elevation here, we're gonna cut this half a foot, we're gonna add a foot over here, we're gonna, what I mean, that's those contour lines, that's what they mean. Again, in this instance, ultimately, you know what I mean, it doesn't matter. It's in the middle of a 300-acre farm, but
The driveway in there,
The
it's not an agricultural, it's
Right.
a manufacturing.
well, that's, I'm just trying to give you context, so you guys make the decision and you have the information to, come to whatever decision you want. The other reason why the grading is something that we see is because usually when you're done with the grading, you draw what's called a limit of disturbance line around it. And then that's what you do your area comp on it. You say 0.95, 0.98, 1.2, whatever that area of disturbance is, the DEC declares disturbance anytime we touch the ground, essentially.
Yeah.
So that's where that was coming from. The lighting sounds like that's gonna be answered. And again, the reason I included this here was just in case you wanted to go to that website to see that. That's
Yeah,
free on the internet. You can go there and,
Yeah,
put your mounting height in, and that's where it gives you the scale on there. Then you can just plop it right in CAD and scale it, so you'll know, here it is. This is the light, because it's not gonna be a circle.
yeah,
It's gonna look like,
the manufacturer.
they'll do it. And they'll
Yeah,
send
we
it to
asked them for it, they're gonna send it.
Again, that's what we see when we look for foot candle on the map. That way, it's just, again, that hard look that they're taking under secret. You can see it's residents are concerned about it as well. So
Yeah,
we can say,
economize the waste as much as we can.
absolutely. The building elevations, again, I'm fine with, what was discussed and taking the floodlights off of the roof,
Yeah, there's not gonna be any lights on the back, right?
On the back of the building, yeah. So, last meeting, you guys wanted the lights on.
No, I'm talking about the ones that is the back. When I'm saying the back, I'm saying the one not the area not near the parking lot.
You're facing 190.
Yeah.
The ones facing 199.
On the north side.
It was on the drawings. I thought I saw some lights on
They're on the roof, I think, on all the corners.
all the corners. So those aren't.
On all four?
I think they're on.
I didn't guess that one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So-
Yeah. Yeah, and then the EAF comments, again, they, address those that will end up. Easy to address, it was just, again, if you don't fill that form out on a daily basis.
So it's just. Here now. What's
Again, potential sound and
know in a minute.
the odors, again, envisioning that people were gonna have questions about why I had that there to, let's get a more robust response to what those are or aren't. Yeah. So that's in the record. Again, hopefully we can keep this under the acre because of the slip.
Yeah.
No big deal, if it goes over the acre.
It is an active agricultural farm. So
Yep.
we can actually go and do the road right now and it takes it out of the picture.
Yeah.
So that's, if we have to, we'll do that, but we'd rather just say, okay, let's. Okay. Understood, so.
Yeah. So those are everything that I came up with. And I believe the traffic was discussed previously, and again, it was, kind of reinforced with 5 to 10 animals. We're not gonna have trailer trucks coming in on a daily basis. There's sort of a lot more than 5 or 10.
The existing road.
Yes.
5 feet to the east.
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
Just 66.
about this because they were going to, we might have to cut some of that bank away. Turn it out. That's not the way it's. Yeah. We do right. For sure. So I start trying to understand why we're not putting them in their existing rent.
Check in it.
What? You haven't to the different spot, you think?
Yeah, I mean, like, for site, with our firms, especially things with sites, you have a. Options, These were that. It's a space.
Up on Bean River. This is for stewards.
Till entry off of 199 is a little safer than a new road cut on bottom of the hill.
What's safer?
Well, if a truck is coming with whatever, turning it into onto Prospect Hill at the top of the hill, across from Central Hudson, is, and at least in my mind, a safer place than at the bottom of the hill where trucks are coming down and turn.
So to do it off of Prospect Hill, you're saying?
Well, he has property at Prospect Hill, but that's why I went.
What's that going like?
That's what
I mean, it's for,
works on that.
you do.
My trailers come off Prospect Hill, I suspect.
Oh, yeah.
Trish, I sent 4 pictures to you
Okay.
and I wanted to go over them. So hopefully they went through.
Did you ever think about putting it in your barn on the corner?
Yeah. We actually had USDA there and discussed it, but it wasn't. We didn't have the height. The building. It's gonna have about 12 feet, we need about 18 feet with the lids, so it wasn't gonna be feasible. We did a study on it to see. It wasn't working.
Okay, so this is the first picture that I took here. When we did our site visit. This is facing 199 in the Bonneville's house. I believe that little, see the truck there? And if you look to the right, that white cat behind the trees is the Bonneville's house. Where exactly would the building end if we look at this? So you see a concrete pad, how far past the pad towards the Monofils is the house going?
That's 20 feet, Jack. Some say like that, or that's.
And then that gap where you're looking at the truck and the house, that's where you're finding trees. Evergreens.
Kind of continuing that tree line, right?
Yeah,
And then closer to the house, you're looking to plant some more.
right around, yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Yeah.
So,
Oh, okay.
so this gap,
Wait, go back, go
no,
back.
that's all
Oh.
right. So that gap on the top, you're talking about 3 trees? That's what you showed.
Right, yeah.
Actually, can you go to the last sentence, then we'll go to this one, please?
Three.
Sure. Go ahead,
No,
Vicky. What are
no.
you saying?
Well, I'm
You're
just
worried about
saying
the amount of tree.
3 trees, I don't think that's gonna be enough. It's not sufficient.
We can add more. We're gonna close the gap.
Oh, you're talking
Yeah,
about
that's
this,
where you're
at this
gonna
gap, at this gap,
Yes,
that gap you feel is not sufficient.
3 trees,
3 evergreens. How big are they gonna be?
8 foot tall.
And the ones that are there are in pretty rough shape. And the trees,
So this is,
so,
oh, good.
yeah, no, so that's it, and I think. The ones down here would be the same if you look at the trees.
So this is looking to the, to the
West.
right? To the west, or slightly canted a little south, towards, I'm sorry, the Teresi? Teresi, sorry. Towards their house, and now I actually walked over to that stone wall. So the building is gonna go how far past the pad in the westerly direction?
Maybe 10 feet. That's, yeah. Well,
So probably to the edge of that pile there. All right, on the far edge of the pile. Okay, so now let's go look at the one you just pulled up before, which was 2. And then is that your house? The white?
Yes,
No, I think that's how it's supposed to look.
is that, I think, no, that's Jack's barn is to the left.
Correct, but the White House in the distance on the slight rise.
Making it down.
Yeah, can come on off.
That's.
how many acres are this whole alteration?
Excuse me, can I-
Oh, sorry.
You?
Hmm.
Not 2.5. I think that's hot cells, but I'm not sure. And so.
First,
Can't zoom in on the picture.
how long ago were these pictures taken?
April 26th.
Okay,
Hey, can you?
so that is our house.
If you.
And the silo belongs to the neighbor next door.
Whoops, all right,
I'm
so
sorry.
zoomed in
You zoomed in, all right.
a lot. Oh, there we go. Okay, is that better?
Yes,
So is that, I'm sorry, so the silo's the neighbor and the White House is you?
the White House is us in the barn.
Okay. All right, just back.
So are there gonna be trees planted along that line more than what's there?
How about you hit, no,
Okay.
as of right now, no, we had not discussed that. But you were bringing up, this is why we have public hearings.
License issue, like.
Go ahead.
No,
Vicky.
no,
And that's why we lost want the elevation, need the elevations, now up a tree versus the.
Right, just plant like a 30-foot tall tree.
What is it
and
called?
that's kind of all bush and.
Can you go back to the far shot of that view, please?
Oh, that's a lot of people.
Yeah, that was picture 4.
This is managed.
So there's a slight rise up to that rock wall, and then there's some straggly looking trees.
Yeah,
I thought when we were there that's the hedgerow there should be reinforced with those plantings.
Okay.
That's good. And makes sense and the trees are gonna be. Traction, form. Enhance.
Can braid up. It's near the downhill top.
I never.
Some berms.
That's it. Well, here's also a wall and it's right.
Just better just all How tall to the face is that?
Yeah.
So it's, yeah, it's 32 feet for, but it is
Yeah.
it's a red building, right? I mean, that's what they're going for, the same look at all the other, yeah, it looks like a farm. You know, it's not a building that's like, out of place and, okay. All right, so back to the amendment.
I think we've got a newer development that Warren just made me aware of.
Okay, Warren,
Well, I have some questions. You need to get a license from the Department of Health or Ag and Markets.
Back in March.
Ag and Markets. So have you submitted that application?
These officials.
they had a long way to go.
USDA, well, they would have to have USDA. The
So I
USDA,
can,
the USDA definitely, because it's gonna be a USDA facility. So we'll have their business. They build it, they come and look at it, and they say, if you are up to their families for sanitary and
yeah, but you have to get a license from Ag and Markets. I assume there's an application process for it. See, this is very close to a type 1 action under seeker
How so?
because it's in an ag district, no?
Yes.
And it's, so it's, the threshold then for a type 1 action is reduced to 25%. To make it a type 1 action. So we need to know exactly how much acreage is going to be disturbed. We can't,
Reduced to 25% of
Of the normal threshold.
of the normal.
which is
10.
It becomes a type 1 action if you're disturbing 10 acres or more. But if you're in an ag district, then it's a non-agricultural use. This is a manufacturing use. The threshold is reduced, it's 25%. So if you're disturbing 2.5 acres, then it becomes a type 1 action, requires a coordinated review. So we have to know how much.
We say it's.
George, what was your calculation on the disturbance?
I was at just about 2 acres. But that's without grading.
Without grading?
So I guess that's gonna. Really, the grading is gonna be critical, so we might want to nail that. Those contours down, that's gonna show us the disturbance.
we could just, we'll put the road in this month and then that's options.
Yeah, it's part of the project. We can't.
Doing all right. I roll out it.
The other thing is that I think that we have to contact Ag and Markets and coordinate our review, even if it's not a type 1 action with Ag and Markets. Then we'll have more information. We don't have any information on how this facility operates, and I'm assuming all of that will be reviewed by Ag and Markets. We'll give
We've had phone calls with both of them and had the USDA inspector when we looked at doing the place up the road that Caitlin talked about earlier. Both have been looked at this project.
And so they don't do any sort of review of the plans? They just come and see it when it's done? What happens if there's like something not done?
And they could, it's kind of like they don't tell you exactly what to do, so they can kind of find anything you want.
Well,
They
you
will
have
set
to
up a plan.
you have to submit your plans before they come in.
I'm sure there's a submittal requirement to Ag and Markets. Absolutely.
I don't know if it's the same. We have to submit plans and what equipment we're buying and then
Yeah, this is specific to slaughterhouse.
they come in.
There's you don't have a slaughterhouse to go.
No, but I'm assuming it's kind of similar.
So for slaughterhouses, it has to be licensed by Ag and Markets. So I'm assuming that there is a process you go through. There's an application process. They'll give you a lot more information on how this facility operates. You have no information on the operation of the facility.
Same thing. So if you're looking for a narrative, I mean, they've told us some things. Claude, you're looking for a narrative typed out about how the
I am recommending that you that you coordinate this with Ag and Markets, find out, confirm what their process is and what has to be submitted. And that the planning board take a look at that so the public has an understanding of how this facility operates.
Okay, I'm gonna ask it again. But beyond that, beyond them, so you're saying the applicant should have like a narrative of how the facility operates? Or a description of like
No, you're
like
not,
some of the things they told us about the.
you're not understanding. There has to be, there must be a process that's gone through to submit to Ag and Markets
I understand
much
that.
more detail than you have now about the operation of the facility.
Right,
Certainly, if it's a type 1 action, you must coordinate with Ag and Markets. So we, have to find out exactly how much acreage is disturbed. If it's 2.5 acres or more, it becomes a type 1 action, which requires a coordinated review with all the involved agencies. Even if it's not a type 1 action, you're asking my recommendation, I think you have to coordinate it with Ag and Markets anyway and find out what is submitted to Ag and Markets
I understand
as a
that.
condition of the issuance of the license.
But then
And
you
that
talked
should
about
be
a
submitted to the board.
kind of like a board and public education of how this operates. I don't know if we'll get that from that process.
I don't know. But
What,
nobody knows
I get the.
how this facility
Then you would
operates.
know like it needs to be 18 feet tall.
Right.
Yeah.
kind of like the one we did the.
Yeah.
Wheat place.
That's my recommendation.
Right, we got all that stuff from
We got all that
the state. And what,
through their license.
We looked it up online. We pulled it. I mean, I talked to some of the speakers.
right,
But it was really like. It wasn't like, oh, I'm the guy, and I can send you the stuff.
That's,
It was-
they were trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
This is a SWOT
Right.
test. This is not a. Something new.
so what are you talking about?
I mean, wouldn't it have to
Okay.
do with their
There's a
license?
whole
Yeah,
website.
you would think it's good, right?
I talked to Jerry Special.
All right, okay.
For yours is new too. With
I would think there's gonna be like a some permit or approval of the lands, and then we'll come to look for it to do.
Yeah.
But I mean, we kind of went through that thing with the daycare. Where they didn't care about all that, and we're just gonna show up and not right, you're gonna fix. All right, oh, they're leaving. Did she want to?
Who's that?
Did you want to speak again? You mentioned before you wanted to speak again.
Surgery to one of the.
Oh, well, good luck. Hopefully. Good luck. Hopefully it goes well. But okay, so you're good then? You didn't want to?
Question I had was, Matt answered it, about semis,
Oh,
so need to be processed after it's done at their plant. Well, like Ginsburg trucking, is that what comes like a refrigerated big tractor trailer truck to take meat out of there?
Refrigerated van, not like.
A van, it's not a truck. Okay, because I've seen the Ginsburg trucks at the slaughterhouse town. And I have no area.
okay. So those are two things they have to nail down. USDA
And whether it's type 1 action.
and that's just. So you need more information or what do we need to be able to determine that?
If I have to say if we're disturbing 2.5 acres or more or less, then I would need, yes, existing and proposed grades. To basically do an area around. You don't do that. I wouldn't want to, wouldn't want to lock anybody
We
in.
need to know. We have.
That's what I'm saying, is I wouldn't wanna
You have to include the drive.
say it is if it isn't, and vice versa.
So you need to get George whatever he needs to be able to make that determination. He's, or so he can let us know where we're at. I guess we can make that determination. Let's, yeah. All right, well, let's keep going through this. With the understanding of that's an overarching. Could be a short circuit on this or not. What else? Next, what's next? And then that, well, that the whole acre thing also goes to the
That's-
SWIFT plan. And
Yeah,
it
I
really,
was the,
I find it hard to believe it's not over an acre. And the SWIFT needs to be done.
right, like I said, it,
If I can't. I don't think it's less than. And George is telling me it's not.
Right.
Well, I'm gonna vote it. Yeah, but we know about the project now, so you can't like segment it by doing one little piece of it. And then we have to pretend that that happened already, you didn't see it. We can't do that. The segmentation of the review of this, we can't. Am I right, Warren?
Existing road.
What was it?
He's saying that if they put the road in and then just come for the building pad. No, we can't, because we
You can't do it piecemeal.
yeah. We have to take that into consideration. So even if you were to go put it in now and say, oh, that's just our ag road that's there. No, we can't. Even if we came in and saw that, like you put in a road, like last month. And we.
You're not supposed to do any
Right,
disturbance of the property or construction until you finish
No.
the seeker review.
so I'm just. But he's saying like under east, whatever, something.
Yeah.
All right,
To that whole site, we take all the rock down, the whole driveway in under a farm road. So that,
I understand,
so. There's no reason why I can't do that.
except
Tell me I can't.
you can do it, but then we're still gonna take into account that area for, it's still part of this application.
Out of the equation.
It doesn't, yeah, it
Because
doesn't
the farm
remove
road
it from
will
this
not be a
application.
road, will not be the, won't be a driveway for
Well,
trucks.
yeah, he's
Farm
saying that, if they weren't doing this building, they were putting a road in for a farmer, for their farm access. They wouldn't come to us, right? They would just do it under ag markets.
Get proof, they get
They would still need the DOT permit, but technically they could do that without ever coming to us. However, since they're putting in this building and we have to take the whole thing into account, we cannot segment it off apart because it would be under ag markets otherwise. It just, we'd still have to look at it. Because once, if it was there, then. Okay, next, all right, as previously commented, it is recommended the correction. We talked about that. So we need that DOT in the Department of Health. The lighting plan, and so, yeah, where was one of these lights? Says. It. And so the two different types of lights, what's the difference between the ones on the top and the ones on the bottom? Are they,
They're the same, it's just a different spec sheet, part of this spec sheet is 2 meters, so they get that in, they're the same lights.
because this one's talks about 5,000 to 4,000 color temperatures
And every,
available in it. We just have to make sure the ones,
We selected 3,000.
I see that up here. Okay, so this is just part of the same specs. George, what do you think about the lighting plan as far as, I know we talked about, you heard what the applicant had to say about it, is,
right, so they're gonna be providing this type of foot candle pattern. After the manufacturer sends it to them,
oh, okay, so
Right.
we will get the
so
foot
we
candle.
will get that.
Okay. Anyone have any more questions about the lights?
It was just 3 on the back, right? One on the eve and then one on each corner. Is that what I'm seeing here?
Yes, although I think the ones on the corner are multiple. Do they have multiple fixture, the ones on the corner?
Multiple heads?
We went away from that. So singles on, oh, the same fixtures. So just on the eve and on each corner and then 1, 2, 3, 5 poles?
No,
And there's a light over the door, just a lamp.
Yeah, building code requirement. Yeah,
Is that one there? I can't see it from.
I think so.
Yeah.
2, 3, 4, 5,
Five.
and 3 on the building.
Correct. So we need to cut you for
So we need,
the lights or that's gonna be over the door. Whatever that fixture is.
and what about these? Oh, they're gonna be
The
on
height,
poles.
the height of the standards.
The poles that they said was 16 feet.
Because that's what the surrounding houses will see if they're,
So once we get the foot candles, then we could,
foot candles are gonna tell you what the light is on the pavement, right on the surface.
and then we could think about if we can bring those down. Possibly, or no.
Well, if the pole height is an issue, we can discuss that now. In other words, anything behind the building obviously is shielded, but anything looking other ways, if you think someone's gonna see that 16 foot, then that would be the time to do it because it'll
One
change
house.
their
And they'll
foot
only,
candle.
and they'll only be on during the operating
Operating
hours.
hours.
Right, they're only on early morning or, dawn or dusk as
Dawn to
people are
dusk.
coming in or,
Or dust it on.
well,
Dawn
like you
to-
said, there's no fringe hours
Yeah,
in winter or fall or something, not nighttime operation. So again, just all things to consider in the calculus.
All right. Next, is recommended just.
Yeah, normally we have construction details, for where how we're gonna put in our culverts, it's how we're gonna put in our road.
And you said that's coming
We added some this last weeks.
after we got this. Oh.
It's actually on.
Ooh, serious. Tree planting to be identified, we talked about more trees.
Again, just, so so the board understands what they're approving or whatever. It's not just a symbol. Is it 3 trees? Is it, what's the planting height? And then for now, we know it's 8 feet. And then, maybe I missed that note,
That was on there,
But,
yeah,
yeah.
it's percent, it's
but that's, again, it's just so everyone knows what they're agreeing to or not.
How many animals at any one time will be stored in the boat? Like they come like a few days before, or how does that work?
that morning.
That morning,
Or the night before.
the morning or night before. And then, so there'll be about 10 at max, and then. And the soundproofing will just be the insulation of the building. Is there any sort of like air ducts or ventilation or any of that sort of thing?
There'll be fans, sure.
There'll be some fans. And how does that work with it? Will the noise kind of escape through those as they operate, or the
Like animal noise?
animal noise, fan noise, and
Machinery.
Machinery.
This whole thing, I mean, it's. We run cows in fields right now.
okay.
It's not, there won't be any.
So you anticipate you're saying that's not gonna add any more noise, or no noise is gonna escape? What is it you're saying?
I think we're pretty contained. We don't anticipate. Well, there's gonna be a freeze. Yeah, 10 animals.
that's why we need stuff that, for the ag markets, that's why we need.
Okay, we're not gonna make comments. I will actually come around for another round of
That's why we.
public comments at some point.
Yeah, recommend,
Never heard.
it'll be all in
I
that.
was just gonna say, if
What's that?
if the slaughterhouse in town operates the same way, right? Do they have animals in the building?
Yeah, drop off there all the time.
I was just-
2 days.
I mean, I see the trailers
I
going.
mean,
in.
I've done
I don't-
sound studies, so the best thing you can do is and it sounds like the opportunity may be there, is to actually go measure where the sound is. I'm not saying that we need to measure things, but if there are animals inside that building,
They normally like the animal there the day before, because then it gets settled in. It's not,
you know what I mean? If
it's adrenaline pumping.
if anyone has knowledge of that, what that sound is, or if we could go witness that sound, then you would have a good reason. A foundation for your decision, you know what I'm saying? You can't argue with facts. If it's loud, then you know you have an issue. If it's not, then you know you don't have an issue. No reason to muddle it. They should get the regulations complicated.
Yeah, it's gotta be in it. It's gotta be.
That's,
There's no way there's.
Yeah. so I'm just saying, I mean, it's, again, we have to take a hard look under seeker. We have to have a reason why we check, you know, one answer versus the other on an impact, and if it's available. Well, like used, that's the best evidence to make your decision. No, and
What's that?
it's in the temple grand. It's like a quarter. Right.
All right, so the next, the full EAF, we have to still get, right? We don't have that?
You can open send it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's keep going through that.
Right, so there was just, you know,
Obviously, take into account.
those questions to be answered and.
George, what are we looking at here? Where?
So this was one of the responses on the full EAF. Again, I think the confusion here was there's no wetlands where the building's being proposed.
That's right, yeah.
Yeah, what the question is actually asking is, are there wetlands on the site? Is there a stream on the site?
Yeah.
Yes, which is why I said we should change that answer to yes, and just let you know the answer for the stream is 863-36.1 and federal wetlands. Again, there's not an impact indicated to the wetlands or to the stream, but the question is asking, is there one on the site? And if so, what's the name and what's the designation? So that's all I was saying is that's a screenshot from an online database that shows you these things, gives you that answer. And that's what I was suggesting should be put in there. And I believe that's what Matt
And
revised. Yes.
and the bat is in the area, but they're not cutting trees, so we don't worry about
So it's not, yeah, so there's no impact if you're not cutting trees. But again, it's still there. We do have to answer the question that we are in that territory.
spec. Um,
Then when the board goes through the next part of the AF, that's where you answer the question of, is there or isn't there an impact? Now, hey, we know there's a wetland. We know it's over there and we're over here, so there's no impact to that wetland from this project. Similar to the bats, we know they're here. We're not proposing cutting trees. So then we arrive at an answer of no significant impact. If you're cutting trees, it's a different decision based on the time of your proposed to cut.
okay. Does anyone have any more questions for George? I'm gonna just take another round if anyone else has further comments from the public. Sir?
Well, it's been said a few times, 5 to 10 head a day. Is that a hard number? Is that? What is the capacity of this building?
And your name was again?
John?
John Bonneville.
Yep.
What's the capacity? Does anyone else have any more comments?
Well, I wanted to bring up the trucks again. So it was 2 to 3 trucks a day coming in the morning or the evening. That's noise also. So it's not just the animal noises, which we're all kind of used to. But the amount of traffic that's going to bring in is going to be tremendous, especially either in the evening or early morning.
We have the ability to set hours of operation.
Yes. Anyone else? All right.
I'm sorry, can I just offer one more quick comment?
Oh, sure.
Yeah, my name is Jamie Gerber
Yes.
again. At Chase Home Farm, we used to take our cows to Joseph Malafi over in Milan. His slaughterhouse is located in a neighborhood. I wonder if it might be beneficial to the board to either talk to neighbors of that slaughterhouse or do some research around like how Mylan decided that like that was like a good situation. Or like one to be approved. I think they do a nice job of hiding it from the road. I would be curious to know what like the people that immediately live around there think and feel, but like I do think that is an example of one that is close by. It's no longer USDA, but it still is.
It went back, yes, it wasn't for a long time, it went back.
I'm sorry, I didn't know that. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Joe Malapi's slaughterhouse is 100 feet from his own personal house. Yeah, his house.
His house.
Okay, all right, does anyone have any more questions for the applicant this time?
Sir. Looking at the water usage and disposal of blood. I just wonder how, you said it was treated
It was separated first, right?
The
separate.
blood is separated out, separate. And then the water gets treated through a separator, grease trap basically. And then, there's a few components in there as well, some filters, and then it goes into a traditional septic system.
That blood goes out as a commodity? Or is it
It's picked up, yeah.
It's picked up, okay.
And then and you said all the dumpsters or whatever are kept inside until whoever takes it away, the awful and all that stuff.
Yeah, it was in a refrigerated, corner of the building.
All right, so at this point, I would want to hold open the public hearing. Do I need a motion for that, or you know
I'll
that?
just continue the public hearing. Yeah.
Yeah, so, motion to hold open the public, continue the public hearing, what are we doing? Doesn't matter. Do not close the public. hearing. Dick, and second? Second. Steve, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? All right, thank you everyone for participating. Obviously we got some things we gotta figure out and nail down, especially number one thing is the bag and markets or USDA, whatever, give us. Why don't we both? You do it, I'll probably reach out, I don't know if I'll get anywhere, but I'll try to find someone to talk to. And you find out about what applications or things you need to be filled out and.
Do we want to know if there's an alternate spot on this property? Do we want to have them tell us yes or no?
Well, you can ask them that.
They've looked at alternate spots, it's like they don't have a.
Dick tried, didn't get very far.
They don't. Yeah, that's smart.
Something, but it's an option, right?
Is there anything on that? Others on Prospect Hill?
It's 199.
I knew that was website, but I don't think there's like.
Just curious, on Sugar Hill, across the street, how many red barns are on that property currently are being built?
Well, top of my head, I don't even know.
It's more than 7?
Between running sheds and barns or what?
Yeah, any sort of building, substantial building, anything like bigger than your marketplace thing.
Oh, so not like a running shed,
Right.
not like an animal shelter.
Right.
Big buildings, 1. 2. 3, 4, door plus 1 on the way, on the project.
All right. Okay, so we know we have a lot of work to do. Next thing. What's up?
The full EAF has to be amended to include ag and markets as an involved agency. Then also it's the holding department,
Okay, what about the USDA? No,
the OCA.
the USDA.
I don't know, do they have any approval of it?
Do you have a
Yeah, they
USDA
do.
in there?
Yeah, you should probably have them listed as involved.
DOT have to be out?
DOT was on
Yeah.
there. Yeah, DOH was on there. We added DEC.
DEC was, yes.
No, it was added.
What am I doing? Right? I'm like backing up. All right. All right, thank you. All right, so next up on the agenda is Hudson Performance.
That's performance.
Matt, Anthony is on.
Yeah, good evening, everyone.
Oh,
Anthony
hello.
Fresenda here, architect, working with Hudson Performance Center, the proposed auto repair shop at 2700 Route 199. I'll give you some time to get the drawings from Jack, and I'll talk through the submitted applications.
Good. What's happening? This is sort of a.
We're sharing?
Yeah, no,
Nice.
I looked up the, there's still ag and markets at like USDA thing. And that's,
Oh, you're gonna do that, right?
yeah.
You should do it.
Hi, all. Hear me?
Yeah, so hold on one moment, please, Anthony.
Sure.
Or whatever. Okay, so what page should we be looking at here?
Yeah, so the drawings and the packages presented today are a follow-up to our preliminary meeting that we had at last month's meeting. At that time, there are certain documents and analysis were requested. With the package that you have in front of you today, we have addressed the site plan, which shows the existing conditions with the proposed additions of the existing building laid on top of it. Also included in the drawings are the exterior lighting plans with the cut sheet for those lights that are dark sky compliant. Exterior elevations which show proposed signage at the front of the building. In addition to the drawings, what was submitted was a environmental site assessment analysis of the existing site, as well as the deed of the property. Currently, in progress is the full environmental assessment form, the septic analysis and DOH review, as well as the Department of Transportation review.
How many further boxes do you need?
I forgot I had these on my head. Come on, Joe.
These things happen.
Poor Tori. I talked to her. Sorry, Paul. Yeah, sorry.
Oil to
On there, so you don't have to have. He's like, down Roderick and then they 27.
When it says oil tank, is that like to collect waste oil or what is that? Or is this on the old?
Yeah, that's in the existing plans.
That's the existing one. Is there gonna be anything like that in the new? That would collect?
There'll most likely be a tank to collect waste oil, yes.
Yeah, the waste oil, because all these shops with waste oil for heat in the field, they use the oil that they get from your car when they change it and use it for heat.
So it'll be like an above ground.
Yeah,
It's like
yeah.
something in the building.
It's a 300-gallon tank. It's inside that back building. Yes.
Right, so the right of way.
Yes.
Whose property is that on now? That's,
We own the right of way.
you own the right of way and they have, an easement.
Did they take the chains out? Do we need a copy?
Oh, the underground
Any
tanks?
paperwork for that?
Yes, the underground tanks were removed, and that is reflected in the environmental site assessment analysis that was done on the existing property. That document is over 250 pages long, so we didn't feel the need to print it out, but that is made available and was sent to the town for your review.
Okay.
You had a question, Ethan, as far as Warren, would you need to see that existing easement? Language, or it's not really,
What's the purpose of?
the neighbor, they share like a
shared
parking
garage.
lot, the neighboring garage.
Yeah, and I saw it on the site. Don't know.
It's in the.
Yeah, they're not blocking.
Yeah, just subject to that. Do we have the full, phase one environment?
Yes,
Phase one.
Digitally, I think we do.
Oh, digital.
digitally, yes.
So there's no need for a phase two? What was
I believe the recommendation by the consultant who carried out phase one was that there was not a need for a phase two beyond what was already done.
What is this now? This is about the tanks being removed?
No. They did a phase, what we call a phase one environmental survey of the property. But this is not complete. This is just part of it. When you conclude the phase one, they determine whether you have to go on to a phase two, which is intrusive testing of the properties.
And we received this, is that right?
I don't know. I don't have a copy of it, but you said that,
I did not review it.
you know, we have a full
I
summary.
believe we have it, yeah.
Isn't that this whole velocity study? That's like
Correct.
300 pages long?
Yeah,
Oh, that's the thing he was talking,
Yeah.
300 page.
So
yeah, if you want to skip to the conclusion, that would tell you.
He was just there.
I just want to make sure that.
Page 299.
300 pages. Yeah.
Conclusion's probably way before the grant.
Yeah, they probably put like,
Page 10.
control it.
Oh, how about should have a,
Yeah. What's that?
Contact,
Table
right?
contents, yeah.
sure. Excuse me, doesn't. I don't know, this is.
Looking at a digital, just search for phase two.
Conclusion.
Right to it.
Yeah.
If a form, form answer, blah, 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 so. I just see this too.
This is my thing. That's just, I guess maybe it doesn't come with a bowl.
So they list two in the conclusion, current and historical property uses. Chemical spills, floor drains, hydraulic lifts. The synopsis of that is basically it used to be a gas station and there's a chance that. There's stuff in the ground. And then secondary containment of above ground storage tanks, which we just talked about a little bit.
And
No recommendation.
Secondary containment for chemical, no recommendations, just. Potential problem spots.
so it doesn't go into like what Warren was saying as far as. And phase two is not needed or phase two is needed?
No.
So
think those are.
Just that these are the potential
Yeah.
environmental conditions.
Well, we need to, so that should be in this report, is that what you guys are saying?
Yeah, this is just part of the phase one. They're usually much.
But that conclusion should be in there?
Yeah.
If they felt it was needed, it would be concluded in there.
Yeah.
I would expect any site that was a former gas station or any industrial site whatsoever, there would always be a catch-all phrase that said, hey, there's a potential that there could be something. That
Which
doesn't,
it seems to say.
well, yeah, I mean,
Definitely.
you open yourself to a lot of liability if you didn't say it.
Okay.
You don't want
But then how do we know if we need a phase two to see a phase two or not?
to, well, it's not, again, if it's not indicating that one is required. So it's kind of,
Absence.
well, I mean, again, if
assume it's-
anybody had, in these instances, it's really good to have local knowledge of the site, which I'm sure you all have. So again, for me as an engineer, I would rely on the analysis and a report. People who grew up here and always went to that place and probably knew who owned it. And if you all say, well, I know they dumped oil right here, this is where they used to dump everything. Then clearly maybe they didn't look in the right spot. But
You know,
absent
they're
of some
gonna
sort
tell
of
us.
personal knowledge of saying, I know there's something here and they didn't catch it. You kind of have to rely on professionals and their analysis of the situation.
We'll both take a look at the entire phase.
Yes.
Yeah. I can read through it, but I'm just saying.
Yeah, read through it and see.
You know, again, they don't usually take these things lightly. It's, you know, what I mean, it's pretty in-depth studies. That's why it's 300 pages.
Can you hit control F and put in phase two? That would be the number. They seem to be using a Roman numeral.
It's usually a Roman two.
Perfect.
It's just their resume.
Yeah.
Alright. So look
And
at
again, they would generally be the ones who would do the phase two. So if it was needed, I'm sure they'd be more than
happy to indicate that.
we need
Go
to
for
roll
that.
with phase two.
Alright.
But I will give it a read before the next meeting, just to double sure.
So Warren, do you have any other questions?
No, it's great. I mean, I what's better, so. It's my, definitely.
Um. And the lights are just on the building, correct?
Yes, the
Yeah,
lights are in the building as lights are on the building as reflected on sheet A002. They are kind of your typical barn down lighting at the requested, of necessary at 2700. There's a couple or three at the front illuminating the signage, and then one above each of the overhead garage doors, approximately 11 feet off the ground. And the cut sheet for that light is included on that sheet as well.
And what's the Dark sky component? George, is this sufficient to determine how bright these things are gonna be?
It's.
You said that 2700.
That's just the color
That's the
temperature.
color temperature. Yeah. Well, I guess what you're really missing is the ISO foot candles, which we asked for last time as well. So that plot that I had in the comment letter, that's what you're looking for, is the foot candle plot that would show, like 3-foot candles, 2-foot,
We asked
1
them
foot
for that
candle.
already?
Well, that's what we would need to notice where this light would be going to.
how far out.
Did you hear that, Anthony?
Yes, yes, we will provide that.
Does anyone have any questions?
Yes.
They have to go to DOT.
They're going to DOT and DOH, yes.
And what exactly, just this business, how will it? You know, what, how many people are coming in? What is the exact business? Is it just like. It's gonna be repair or like souping up the cars or, you know,
Auto repair.
just auto repair.
Regular auto, not a.
Not a body
like,
shop.
That's
That's
I mean,
process.
that's true.
But I,
It's a repair shop.
What was there before? Right?
Repair shop.
Was there? There's no real change in use.
Alright, so it's just because it was never gone through zoning, so.
Well, arguably, there's a change of intensity of use, but again. It's minimum. If so, hopefully the DOT and the DOH agree. Fortunately, we don't have that authority to just waive it.
Of course.
But I would suspect that. Being that there's probably not a big accident history and there's no failures with the septic system, et cetera. They're probably gonna let it stay the way it is, but like I said, I can't speak for them.
I did hit that third one.
Did you hit the curves?
I have nothing. That doesn't count. I don't know if there are not. Yeah.
Vehicle on vehicles.
Crystal Hudson, Ferguson Center. Paul.
I think that's like.
And there.
So I said,
Sounds like it's a.
Yeah, I wasn't fine, this is, that was. That sounds. I really good. What they need.
It's not.
But, yeah.
really don't
I look at it, I go, oh.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
That's what I thought.
Yeah, same.
But if you're a car person.
Thinking, I know.
You know.
You know.
And one. So Warren, we have to do, what do we do about a public, we have to do a public hearing on this?
Yeah, do we have a EAF? Did they submit?
So that's in progress. We're planning to
sent
have
on
that
it.
by next meeting.
Kind of need that.
You need that for the public
We
hearing.
need to send it to county planning with a referral.
Time got it back, that's it.
You sent it already? Referral? Without the,
That's it.
Well,
Usually they want us supposed to send it part one of the EAF with the
so we haven't had any EAF as of yet? Is that right?
Correct.
I'm sure Clayton will. Move forward as soon as he gets.
No comment.
Negative.
So when do you anticipate us getting that?
Well, when do you need it for in time for the public hearing, or when is the next public hearing?
Think so.
Yes. Well, they probably could do just a short form EAF. I don't know if they need the full EAF.
Should be able to.
I don't know, maybe it's,
maybe because of the.
I mean, if they're working on it, I'm assuming they're doing the full EAF.
Yeah, I mean, we have probably 75% of the full EAF complete.
Yeah, well,
so
just
if
keep it that way.
Do it. It's better to do it than that.
Yes, well, if we could get it as, if we're gonna schedule the public hearing. I would like to see it within the next 2 weeks. So
Sure,
if I schedule the public hearing for the 10th. So can I have a motion to schedule the public hearing on the 10th for 7:30?
So.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? So definitely get that, because if we don't have it, at least a couple of weeks before, then the people can't look at it, et cetera, and
Yeah, as soon as you get it, just send it down to county.
Okay.
You'll have it soon.
Awesome.
neither of us do. Anyone else have a problem next month? With, you good?
I'll be here.
And I'll be here.
Every
Be around.
tenth. Yep.
Okay,
Done. Thank you. Yeah.
thank you.
Thank you.
I think that's it, right? We just have minutes
Mm-hmm.
and, is it what?
No, nothing.
Oh,
Just a
You
minute.
have any questions for me about the litigation?
I don't know. Does anyone have any questions about the, what?
The field is wild.
Really?
No, they didn't file, they filed a notice.
Oh, they did.
They have to perfect it, so
That's actually right.
it will take probably 2 to 3 years to get through the second department.
You get all those?
We'll keep. Yeah, which one are we doing?
I have one.
I don't want to pay. We need to have at least one, this is the other.
No,
Order out.
No, it's.
Cause I have it on, as long as I have it on digital, I don't.
So.
So, that's the fact, it's to protect your rights, and then, we have 6 months, I think what's called
Not
perfect.
bad, huh?
Yeah.
Could have done them together.
That's the like, that's what it is.
Is there any more rubber bands?
They got.
You bill.
Report out.
I'm telling you. As long as I don't get an injunction, which part, yeah, it's like, it has to be, part of the criteria is how likely they are to win.
And you gotta post a bond, which costs a ton of money to post a bond for that project.
Very
Then I wonder, what's
How much is the town expensed and? Warrant services to this?
Yes, I'm not sure. I've told Corinna to keep it separate. I could find out.
I'll be curious.
Yeah, again, the applicant's attorney did a lot of
Right.
this with.
I mean, is that billable to the applicant?
No,
no,
The states don't.
I wish it was. I wish we could ask for it.
yes.
When you see them.
Okay, so big
All
deal.
right.
I'll get started with my lawyer.
Hey, did everyone get to look at the May minutes?
Yes.
And there was just some,
Why would they?
what do you call it?
A typo.
A typo.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take off, you know.
All right.
No, thank you, Warren. Thanks for the work on the Article 78. Congratulations.
Yeah.
Yes. Can I have a motion to accept the May minutes?
I'll make that one.
Dick?
Yeah.
I heard big night. Kevin, hold on 1 second.
Oh.
Just one. So, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
Aye. Oops, I'm sorry.
Okay, so the minutes, May minutes have passed. The next thing is Kevin contacted me. Is he's on, you chair of the sewer committee?
Yes.
And, he
It's
replied.
now the wastewater committee.
Okay, wastewater.
God.
And he would like a member of the planning board or possibly a rotating member. If we want to go that route, to be on the committee or just to be a liaison.
Either
So
fine,
beyond-
would be great.
On the committee,
It can't hurt, you know?
so how do you guys want to do this? Does anyone have the time
Draw straws.
and the inclination to commit to, what, no, you don't have, you've been meeting on Wednesday?
Yeah, what are the meetings?
It's not set in stone yet, like our next meeting. Trying to,
It's scheduled for our meeting.
yeah, I still gotta work that out. So, yeah. I don't have a date yet, but.
Okay, but in general, you think you're going for Wednesdays? I think that's what
Wednesdays
people
or
are asking.
whatever, whenever the town hall is open, you know, and people can meet. So,
So is anyone interested?
Don't all jump at once. It's okay.
Okay,
Could,
yeah. Okay,
I mean,
kind of.
well, I mean,
I'll
we can be a tech, we
Yeah,
can do a tech.
I'll be the second
Sound
sub,
good?
third sub.
All right. Be the third sub.
No, I just thought that it would be helpful because in the end, it's gonna go through you guys anyway. You know, there's a lot to it and we're just in the early phases of trying to figure out how to go about this, you know, I mean, there was all the work that was done previously with the tie and bond study. You know, are we gonna go that way? I think in order to get that to happen, we have to try to extinguish all other possibilities and to satisfy a lot of people, because there are a lot of people that don't want to see this happen for a variety of reasons. But I would say by majority, people want to see it happen.
I don't know if it goes through us. I think maybe we have input or comments, but I
The
don't,
town board, I think.
I don't know if that, has Warren told you that?
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
I would
It
get
goes
town
to
board,
the
right?
town board.
We have to pass legislation.
But
Yeah, there's gonna
I'm
be,
glad you changed the
Yeah.
name.
we're gonna have to create a district.
Everybody
Right.
thinks,
They'll be the
That's
town
a
board.
septic treatment
That is-
plant.
right.
Yeah, they don't understand that
and you
it's
tell
not.
that, and you say, no, it's not, and they go.
And you know what else people don't understand? The people of the town as a whole think that they're all going to have to pay for it. And only the people in the district will have to contribute any funds to
Who
it.
decided district?
The town board will decide what the district
That's
is.
arbitrary and capricious.
Oh, okay. John,
No, it's not.
John, you're not part of the board. I'm sorry, but you cannot.
Sorry.
you-
So
Well, there was a survey sent out.
there's, and we're looking
Yeah,
at,
There
this
was
is-
a
we
survey,
want to
right?
send another survey
Yeah,
out
yeah,
because
there
that
was
was a while
That's
back.
not district.
And, you know, yeah, we just think it would be
Right.
our due diligence to get
Right.
back on that with
But
another
I
survey.
think the big thing is that people don't understand what it is.
Right, yeah, so
They
there,
think it's a complete
And the-
huge.
Right.
Yeah,
The planning board's interest in it is to make sure that whatever it is conducive to the cost of the comprehensive plan and
right,
the
yeah.
development of the town center.
Town center development.
One of the things,
Town of
a
Millis.
couple of things that we decided in our
So it's
first
Armenia.
full meeting was that whatever we come up with, it cannot be a quick fix. And that it must be expandable.
Yeah, and I think
You know,
Amelia is like behind
Yeah.
you guys.
Yeah,
And Red Hook's
So-
already installed it.
but other than that, you
Yeah.
know,
Red
one
Oh,
of the
Red Hook
things
is there?
we're
They installed it
looking
last
at
year.
is what we're loosely calling the quadrant system, where each corner of the town tries to have
Just the business.
its own little septic of a conventional nature rather than the affluent removal. I think that it's too complicated. And one of the other possibilities within that was getting the neighbors together to put in something, which will never happen. You'll never get all those people to agree and organize and, you know, so if the town didn't oversee it or manage it somehow, then it wouldn't happen at all. But honestly, I think the tie and bond study that was done, in my opinion, was well done. And it's probably the most likely way that we'll end up going, but it's too early for that. We have to eliminate everything first and get everybody on the committee on board before we even present it to the town board. So,
But it's just all those. Like the garbage out, nothing can go upstairs, like there's just
Yeah.
no
no.
Library.
Septic.
There's-
library.
So the comments of those against it is those people knew what they bought when they bought their properties. Okay. So let's shoot ourselves in the foot and do nothing. And, you know,
Which we need for
which we need. It means there's nothing changing.
Or it's new businesses, certain businesses, like someone wanted to put in a dog room,
Right.
they couldn't do that.
Right.
You look at the Mexican restaurant with its 3 tables or whatever is in there, it's half empty. We know, we went through the whole thing with Champetra, they can only have 23 seats or whatever it was. Yeah, it's a handcuff on.
One of the things that bothers me is that the Stissing Center is moving along with their project. So that's a couple $100,000 worth of septic that they have to put in to make that building be utilized to its fullest potential. So,
Crossroad, move.
so it's a shame that, you know, that they have to spend that money. And the same thing for my thinking is that, you know, we keep pushing Brian, where's the town hall stand? What's going on with the town hall? And, So it's only because we keep asking that it is possibly moving forward, but part of that project will include septic. And it doesn't make any sense to me to build the new town hall and then spend a couple $100,000 on a septic system when we might shortly thereafter be putting in municipal septic.
Well, they said it was gonna be a 5-year project,
Which project is
the
that?
town hall.
The town hall,
or
yeah.
even longer. So if you're starting with this, it should probably pretty much go along.
But according to Ray Jerkowski, it'd be a minimum of 3 years once we firm up what we are doing. And then then the town has to create the districts, the district and,
Right.
so there's a lot of
And
steps
how much
before.
further, I mean, and when do you expect the town hall to be built?
Well, it's not my project, so I have no
No, but
expectations
I'm
on,
just
yeah,
saying, they,
it's
they were hiring an architect, weren't they, or they were putting out something with.
put out an RFP. And I'm not sure. In fact, I think today is the end date of the
And Ray
RFP,
would-
so,
Ray knows what's
Yeah.
going on there, so
So-
I mean, he could be able to coordinate them. I
yeah.
think that's
If we even got any responses, they had put it on the town bulletin board and then, when we kept jogging them, what's going on, where does it stand? Ray said, well, I can put it on a bulletin board in Albany where it'll get a wider review. So, we're like, well, then do that, but, then there was a little delay because he says, well, I'm waiting for you guys to tell me that you
Yeah,
approve.
well,
I'm like, oh,
sometimes we
God.
have to push them.
No. Anyway, all right. So.
Thank you.
All right, thank
All
you.
Travel by stewards.
And we just for public notice mentioned the letter from Joyce Capuano and
Oh, right, that was a lot. After the meeting,
because it was brought up last meeting.
the Capuanos,
You're gonna go
Hatton
forward
House.
with the house in the front.
remember we asked about that? They sent it right after, like a day later, right? It was like.
Yes.
Yeah, it came the next
Yeah.
morning practically.
And they said that they do intend to rebuild that house.
Yeah.
And that
Yeah.
they're just, things are going slow with the current house, the accessory dwelling that they're building. So, perfectly, did we receive the response?
So we still,
We are.
Motion to adjourn.
Yeah, second? Can I have a second, please?
oh, I'll second it.
Nikki, second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Thank you, everyone. Meeting's adjourned.